Missions Pulse. Know God's heart, join His mission.
What does Ethiopian culture, secular, expect to see in its music scene, modern day music scene, and then in comes the Christian scene? How different is it?
Ethiopia is a blessed country regarding music, regarding culture, the way we worship. The Coptic Orthodox Church has its own instruments, and I think you can't find these instruments outside of Ethiopia in any part of the world.
Can you play any of those instruments?
Yeah,
You can?
a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm so sad you didn't bring one today.
maybe next time.
Okay, all right. Next time
Sure.
on Missions Pulse,
Yeah.
Jonas Demeke
Next
playing
episode,
his
Sure.
Ethiopian instruments.
So, but when the Western missionaries came, those instruments were not used on evangelical churches. So we use guitars and piano, and it's so strange for Ethiopians to see these instruments, because our cultural instruments were somehow sacred for worship purpose.
Yes.
And these modern instruments, when they come to Ethiopia, they were used for secular purposes. So the
Yes.
church were not ready to accept that.
I see what you're saying. So there was the secular and the divine, and so they're thinking many of these instruments could be used for maybe some religious practices, and so they think, well, that's an unfortunate aspect of missions history, I think, when the missionaries or missions agencies could not recognize the value and the positive aspects of a particular culture.
Sure.
And realize it's not this all pagan evil.
Yeah.
No, this is an aspect of culture that should be elevated.
Yes.
I feel like God really wants to elevate and take out the most purest aspects of culture. And many times we can't recognize.
Yeah.
What are the fallen things of our cultures? American, Ethiopian, Chinese, Thai. And how do we elevate those positive aspects? It could be very difficult.
Yes. I know it's not easy, but it's the most rewarding thing.
Yes.
Because I believe that the gospel incarnated in the culture is the most powerful way to penetrate and change the community. I think the Orthodox Church kept its strengths because it's totally contextualized with the music and with everything.
Wow, that's a strong aspect.
Yes. And also the Holy Spirit was working on the church and building, and the leadership also was somewhat flexible for the voice of the Holy Spirit. But when you ignore some part of the culture, it's hard to have the fullness of the gospel being understood by the people.
You've been talking a lot about instruments only.
Yes.
I'm sure there are many other aspects. I mean,
of course.
You think of Ethiopia, you consider yourself a honor-shame culture?
Yeah.
Hospitality based. I can imagine
yes.
you go to Ethiopia, I'm going to be eating a lot.
Yeah,
if I go to your house.
We will feed you.
Okay. So would you say in the Christian context today, are those aspects still kind of valued? They're intrinsic to the culture.
Yeah. Because of the new Christian culture, more of the believers are separated from the community.
I see.
If you go to a non-Christian's family or house, you can see more of the culture than the Christian house, because we believe that we Christians are different from the culture, from the community. So we just separated ourselves from the community. So it's really hard for us to reach our community.
When you talk about this, you remind me of there's a chapter in The Mind of a Missionary. The book I just wrote, talking about being in the world but not of the world.
Oh yeah.
I think there's a misunderstanding that we're in the world but not of the world, or we're not part of popular culture and the currents of negative aspects of culture. But really, we're not in the world. We're in the world, but not of it, but we're sent into it.
Yes.
We forget that third aspect that Jesus sends us into.
Yes.
And how to be culturally relevant and be normal.
Yeah. It's when you don't identify yourself with the community, it's the most strange thing you could ever do on your community.
I can imagine.
And on Ethiopian Christianity, one of the challenges was that Christians doesn't involve in politics, much in politics, and they don't involve in secular music. and we just abstain from many of the things. So that darkness can control and
I see.
yeah, control the community. But nowadays, I'm happy that God is giving us a new age for our missions.
Missions Pulse. Know God's heart, join His mission. This podcast is powered by Unreached Global. Subscribe, watch, and listen on YouTube today. Visit missionspulse.com.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed that video, leave a comment below. Tell me what you thought. Also, you might want to check out this video here, and honestly, that one's not bad either. Make sure you subscribe to Missions Pulse by clicking the subscribe button right here, and also click that little bell button so you get notified every single time we post a new video.